Benjadrika telo cha Nathar inna shiri mula Guru Mahamuta siddhi phala hum Trên trời tôi men giam lê trên cho bé to son miêu la cha cho mẹ giam vai đôi trên trôi phan chỉ tên quân bước xa lại thì ta tới sam ju che le me shan ji lo shi tu je je ning ge mo ba sa ni jon sem tu tal ta to para shan ji lo Benjadrika telo cha Nathar inna shiri mula Guru Mahamuta siddhi phala hum Om Ai Namo Guru Benjadrika telo cha Nathar inna shiri mula Guru Mahamuta siddhi phala hum Om Ai Namo Guru Benjadrika telo cha Nathar inna shiri mula Guru Mahamuta siddhi phala hum Good morning, Rinpoche. Good morning.
Oh, good morning, Dr. Hanlai.
Good to see you.
Yeah, very good to see you. Yes.
Everyone from around.
Okay.
So we are going to start as usual with some opening recitation.
Okay.
So we are going to start. So if you can turn to your opening recitation, I'm sure if not, Omar just shared in the chat this brief opening recitation. Fabiola, are you able to read, as usual, one time, all the recitation in English, page 1 and 2?
All mother sentient beings, limitless as the sky, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and all-knowingness. May they experience happiness and be separated from suffering. I will quickly establish them in the state of the most perfect and precious awakening. Thus, until I achieve awakening, I engage in virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. Until death, I engage in virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. From now until this time tomorrow, I engage in virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. All sentient beings, limitless as the sky, take refuge
in the Buddha.
In the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha most excellent, I take refuge until awakening is reached. By the merit of generosity and other perfections, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all migratory beings. May all mother sentient beings, limitless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion.
Fabiola, you have a slightly different version with you, so you want to download the one that we're using for Saturdays. Thank you. Tham je ge su je ma nang ka dang nyam pe sen jen tham je de wa dang den du ngao dang zhe ne de la na me pa yang da pra su be chan chu rin po je to pa ri je no la dang wa je be no pa je be ge tar pa dang tham je ken be bar du jo pra je pa tham je ge su je be ma nang ka dang nyam pe sen chen tham je de wa dang de du ngao dang zhe ne do la na me pa yang da pra so be chan chu rin po je to pra je da la dang wa je be da no pa je be ge tar pa dang tham je ken be bar du jo pra je pa tham je ge su je be ma nang ka dang nyam pe sen chen tham je de wa dang de du ngao dang zhe ne do la na me pa yang da pra so be chan chu rin po je to pa je de je du sa ma ge ge bar du lo nga yi sum ge wa la ko ma shi bar du lo nga yi sum ge wa la ko du de ri ne sum te ne ma san ta sam ge bar du lo nga yi sum ge wa la ko sum ge jo dan so ge jo nam la chan ju bar du da ne gyab zu je da ge jin so ge be so nang ge drola pencher san ge dru bro ju zong ge jo dan so ge jo nam la chan ju bar du da ne gyab zu je da ge jin so ge be so nang ge drola pencher san ge dru bro ju zong ge jo dan so ge jo nam la Chanchu bardu dani gyabzu ju dagi jinsu gebe sonange rola penchir sanje drupro shu manang kadang nyampe senjen tamje dewa tan dewe kindan dembro gyurji dungyao dang dungyao gi gyudan rewa gyurji dungyao mepe dewa tangme rewa gyurji Nering chadang nidang drawe tangyong la nebra gyurje ma nang kadang nyambe senchen tamje dewa dan dewe gendan dembra gyurje dungyao dang dungyao gi gyudang drawa gyurje dungyao mebe dewa dangme drawa gyurje nering chadang nidang drawe tangyong la nebra gyurje ma kadang nyampe senjen tamje dewa dan dewen gendan tempra gyurje dungyao dang dungyao gi gyudang drawa gyurje dungyao mepe dewa dangme dewa gyurje niring chadang nidang drawe tangyang la nebra gyurje. So now to request for these precious teachings, we are going to do the mandala offering. Let's see, Claudia, are you able to read?
Yes, the
on
mandala.
Page 3 and page 4. Do you see that?
Whatever's light.
This ground.
Yeah.
This, yeah. The text that we're using for today, not the other text that we use. Yeah. Starting with this ground.
Okay. Yeah. This ground sprinkled with scented waters and strewn with flowers, adorned with the supreme mountain, 4 continents, sun and moon, I hold in mind as a Buddha land and offer it. May all wandering beings experience such a pure land.
Go on. Page 3 and page 4.
To all gurus thoroughly complete with the 3 kayas, I offer these outer, inner, secret, and thusness offerings. Together with my body, wealth, and the entirety of phenomenal existence, please grant the unsurpassed supreme attainment. Whatever slight virtue that may have been gathered through prostrating, offering, confessing, rejoicing, requesting, and beseeching, I now dedicate to complete awakening. Om Guru Deva Dakini Ratna Mandala Praticha Swaha. Please turn the wheel of Dharma of the greater, lesser, and common vehicles in accordance with the dispositions and mental capacity of sentient beings.
Thank you. Zhoge namda shindu chopara shu guzum yongso lame tso nam la jinang sangsum deshin niki chu dalu loncho nangsi yongshe la lame chogi ngode tsadu su jase wada chojin shakba da jise yirang kushin sowa yi Gewa chungse dagi chi sakpa tamche zobe chanchu chungu om guru deva thaki nirana mendala pradeja so semjen amgi sampada loyi jitra jitawa jejung tumong tekpa Chogin kolon kordun so. Now, Kinjara Rinpoche's microphone needs to be unmuted. It's still muted right now. Yes, now it's good, I think.
Okay. Now it's clear?
Yes, absolutely.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Today, of course, we have some series of the teaching or talk from the selections of the teaching or writings of Lord Jigten Sumgun, as we did last time. And Lord Jigten Sumgun or Kyobpa Rinpoche, we use many different names. Sometimes Ranashiri, Rinjebel, so forth. So there's all those names. One person, Lord Jigten Sumgun or Kyobpa Rinpoche. And here, there are some selections of the teachings are very profound, mostly related to the Mahamudra. So they are very complex. So we have to kind of have the good attention and incisive to capture these different meanings. As we all know about Buddha's teaching. This is what Buddha's teaching is, and generally in the world, as I mentioned last time, whatever we do, relation with the Dharma, religion, or business, politics, science, technologies, all are related to our life. The life that we want peace and happiness, and we don't want suffering. So this is our main theme. So how I can have more peace and happiness, more joy, how my life can be reduce the suffering, less suffering, or maybe say suffering should not come. And this is it, not just only Buddhists or human beings. This also relates to even animals, small insects, bugs, those who have the consciousness, we call the mind. So who has the mind, have this kind of, the mental capacity. The most difficult is what's the cause for the peace and happiness? What's the cause for the suffering? It's very difficult to understand. We do things with a lot of thinking. This may bring my life, make easier. If I do that, I will have more happiness. If I do this, there will be less suffering. So we have that. But we don't have a deeper understanding because the causality is very profound. Milarepa mentioned one time, emptiness is easier to understand, he said. Of course, it is not easy to realize, but it is easier to understand when you investigate, through the different methods, to the different systems, like quantum physics theory, like those things. It makes sense, understand. But the causality is more difficult. It needs deeper, kind of wisdom, insight. So we should have that kind of our understanding. So here today, the teaching is called, I'm sure everyone has this copy, The Play of Elephants, a treatise on great compassion. So this text is very profound. So here, elephant is not just the animal elephant. This is a metaphor. Actually, it's a Buddha. Sometimes Buddha mentioned, when the elephant stands also in the meditative state. When elephant walks with a meditative state. When elephant stands with the meditative states. So this refers to Buddha elephant. Now here is also, we can say, here elephant means it's great compassion, which means bodhicitta. The bodhicitta here is both relative and absolute bodhicitta. So that's why I say great compassion. So great compassion is that compassion supported by the great wisdom, special insight. With the wisdom and compassion combines, then it gives us a special technology to how to comprehend the mental confusion. So all this relate to our mind. As I mentioned last time, the mind is very complex. It's very profound. It's very complex. At the same time, it's very shallow. There's no color to see. There's no something to hold on. Just, So it's the wall is the play of the mind. So relate to our life, you can see easily when our mind is more calm, more peaceful, then that makes our life much easier, relax. When our minds, the emotion is a part of the mind or mental factor. When different emotions manifest, mental conflict is the play of the mind. It makes our life more difficult, more confused, more suffering. So all are related to the mind. So Buddha's teaching is so important that we all need to understand. But at the same time, as I mentioned, it's not easy to understand. For us, it is we are kind of impulse, object to see, to hear, to smell, to taste, to touch. These 5 objects, not that in our life, we are so much involved. We are so much impulse on those, connected to these, related to these. But very difficult to look inside what it does, how it looks like, how it works. So therefore, it requires a lot of study, practice. That's called meditation practice. Meditation practice doesn't mean just close your eyes and blank the mind. It's the method to get to use that reduce the mental factors which are cause of suffering, and get involved the mental factors which are cause for peace and happiness. That's what's called meditation practice. We also chant the mantra for that purpose. Chanting mantra is not just says some mantras, chant, and we just expect we get something from that. Now here chanting mantra is to relate to our mental capacity, to reveal the quality, the ability of the mind. So this here, so much depends on the mind. So then I will read this, and as I mentioned, this requires a lot of explanations. Each words, each sentences. So here what is said is the first paying homage here, primordially pure equanimity, the basic state of mind, great awakening, spontaneously present, suchness itself, uncompounded and beyond all extremes of elaboration. Before this Guru, which is Bodhicitta, I forever bow down. So this verse has all the teachings of Mahamudra. First here, look at, say, the basic state of mind, say the mind. Basic state of the mind, or sometimes we say the mode of abiding nature of the mind. So this is our own mind. Everyone has this. Whether you realize or not realize, whether you recognize or not recognize, this is not something a Buddhist belief or Buddha created. But Buddha became Buddha by realizing this. Means by revealing. Buddha revealed total nature of that mind. That's called the basic state of the mind. The mode of abiding nature of the mind. That means uncontrived. Mind as it is. Because of this, we all desire for peace and happiness, because that itself is total peace. It's called unafflicted peace, uncontrived peace and joy. It's the absence of all the delusions. So when we are confused on this, about this, when we kind of crossover could not relate to this, then there's called mental affliction, mental delusion. We are deluded through the confusion to this nature of the mind. So therefore, until we uncover, reveal this, the suffering never ends. That's why Buddha mentioned we all should achieve Buddhahood. So Buddhahood is not somewhere outside, different place, different locations. Buddhahood is within us. But that was under the control of the adventitious defilement. All these mental afflictions, you see, ignorance, attachment, aversion, pride, jealousy, greed, and so forth. There are so many. So that these all are called mental afflictions, adventitious defilement. So that is our responsibility is to purify them. So having said that, the basic state of the mind as a mode of abiding nature of the mind, so it is primordially pure. So now this primordially pure. So that mind itself, primordially means uncontrived, without any contrivance, itself is just pure. And equanimity is equal. It's in Tibet it's called Nyambanyi. Nyambanyi means equal of all sentient beings, both nirvana, samsara. There's no difference. Samsara and nirvana made the difference when there is confusion, when we're bewildered, our pure nature of the mind, that becomes the samsara. We just wander within in the cycle of the confusion. So that's called the vicious cycle of the suffering. So all what we need to reveal that nature. And then my mind, Buddha's mind, animal's mind, we all are equal. That's called equanimity. So this is what's called Mahamudra. So then there's next, it's a great awakening in Tibetan called Changchuk Chenpo. Changchuk is the enlightenment. Chenpo is great. Changchuk Bodhi in Sanskrit. Bodhi, Chenpo, Mahabodhi. So that's our mind itself is that nature. But it's not enough just saying that. It's not enough saying that we have it. We have to reveal it. We have to recognize it through this kind of dedication. We need a constant reminding. Say, remind ourselves. So I cannot let the confusion take over. I cannot let mental afflictions manifest. So the great enlightenment that need to be revealed. Then he said, spontaneous present means all the excellent qualities are there. So when you meditate, when you could meditate, just, if we're a practitioner, like just say, half an hour meditate. When you could do the meditation well, how much you feel peace, happiness is there. That's not coming from anywhere. At that time, our mental afflictions are subside, all just come down. And more the purity of the mind, the manifestation is coming there. So that's the quality of the mind. You can see that when all the mental afflictions, mental delusions are fully dispelled or purified or realized their nature is nothing but empty, then the quality of the Buddha is within you, manifest. That's why it's called spontaneously present. So that is its suchness itself, or as it is. So in Tibetan, Deshinyi means we don't have to do anything because that nature is as it is. So the Buddha nature is as it is. When you reveal that, that's the Buddha. When our mind is fully occupied by the mental afflictions, then you see it's called contrived, fabricated. So all the mental afflictions are a chemical. You see in our world, the chemicals are not good for your health. But still we create chemicals, Well, it's not good. We're creating the chemicals and use, And well, those chemicals not good in the farm as a fertilizer, we use that. And then we complain it's not good for your health, So same thing, these mental afflictions, we feel they are natural. Like our desire, attachment, aversion, anger, we feel this a part of the mind. We feel they are the just natural nature of the mind. But as long as they manifest, then there's no peace. Then we complain about it. See, so this you can see this understanding. Okay. Then there's uncompounded. Dumache in Tibetan. Du mache is not compounded by many causes and conditions. It is as it is. Here, uncompounded means it's not something concrete, substantial is there, but it is the as it is, the primordially pure. The basic mind itself is uncompounded. It is just as it is, So it's uncompounded. And beyond all extremes of elaboration, our world is what we have created is called elaboration. We say we have to develop, we have to make better and better. So this is called elaboration. That elaboration, there's no end. There's no end of the elaboration. But when you realize beyond all extremes of liberation, means free from all elaboration, then you see at that time we achieve the full satisfaction. Until we achieve that, no matter how much you got, there's no full satisfaction. You can see in the world, there are people who are millionaires, billionaires, still they are not satisfied because it's based on the elaboration. If your stomach is full, still you are not satisfied. You say, my stomach is full, there's a pain in my stomach, but still you like to eat because it's elaborated. It's elaboration. So we have obesity, that's called obesity, you know. So this problem is that, no. So like that, in the mundane level, in the samsaric state, there's no full satisfaction. Always we run for something. Always we do something to collect. If you have enough, but not satisfied. But once we have realized this, the nature of the free from all elaborations, then we are full satisfied. So that is what that one to say. Before this guru, see, this is the guru, which is bodhicitta. So now here, that's the elephant. This bodhicitta, the enlightenment, that's the guru, is within us. No, we have to make effort ourselves to see that face, the face of that guru. So that's what I mentioned. I forever bow down means I cannot give up that. I must follow this guru. This is the guru that I should see its face. If I could see the face of that guru, then I achieved all this the above mentioned. We realize everything, we realize or we see all things are primordially pure. Everything is equal. And the basic nature of the mind. And you can see the great awakening, the great bodhicitta, a great enlightenment, and how much is qualities exist there, spontaneously manifest all the excellent qualities, like when the sun rise, all the light just manifests with that. Dispels all the darkness in the world. So like that, when we see that mind, then all the excellent qualities of the like 10 strength, 4 fearlessnesses, that all the Buddha's qualities are just there. And that itself is as it is, uncontrived. And it is uncompounded nature. And it is infinite, like the space. The space is infinite. Nobody has found the end of the space. Have not found in the past, will not find in the future. So our mind is infinite. So this is called beyond liberation, beyond all extremes of liberation. So this is the that Lord Chittosumban wrote this, paying homage. So this explains the rest of all these short texts. So this is, as I mentioned, those who have studied Buddha's teaching for some time, especially who have practiced some, will get a glimpse of this meaning. No, so that's the great elephant. Okay. Then again continues after paying homage. Said the phenomena of samsara and nirvana are primordially peaceful and birthless. See? And naturally, they are the state of nirvana, see now, which expresses the same. So the phenomena of samsara and nirvana. Now this, you know, samsara, nirvana, as just I mentioned briefly. Buddha, now through his wisdom, his wisdom means that his enlightened mind fully captured the nature of all those phenomena. And then because of that, he fully perceived what's the state of samsara, what's the state of nirvana. See, even though their nature is same as earlier mentioned, they are both nature of samsara, nirvana, equally pure, no? And its nature is uncompounded, so forth. No? But what it makes samsara, what it makes nirvana, now it's very important, this we as a Dhamma practitioner, this lays down the to see what samsara is and nirvana is. We know we have a lot of discussions on this. Many now books written about these things or translated. Many great teachers talk about the Mahamudra, but we should have a very clear understanding. When you read Jewel Ornament of Liberation, in that first introduction, it's mentioned all the phenomena, all dharmas are within in the samsara and samsara and nirvana. So nature of samsara is emptiness. But it's a confusion perception, confused perception. And that manifests as suffering. So here, samsara, we have this look, see, these are our 5 kind of skanda, this skanda, the form, feeling, perception, formation, consciousness, or mind, So these 5 is the called 5 skanda. Let's look at this. This is not outside somewhere, it's within us. Since we have this body, what I see, what I hear, smell, taste, is all this form. Young or old, good looking or not good looking, all just look at this, the form. Then with this form body, we have the feeling good, feeling not good, neutral feeling. Oh, whatever you think something, whatever you do something, there's a feeling. I like this feeling. I don't like this feeling. All this we have. Then perception. We perceive things, big, small, right, wrong, different colors. That's all in our body, you see. Then with that, so we have the mental factors, which mental factor means which compounds, creating things, all mental activities. All the different karmas are made from that or created from this. It's called mental factors. So these are based on the consciousness, mental consciousness. When they elaborate, then they're called 8 consciousness. First is the eye conscious, ear, nose, tongue, body consciousness, and then they're called mental consciousness, 6. Then after that, there's called afflicting consciousness, and then the stored consciousness. Use these different terminologies. Anyhow, this our body, we have that, see. And with that, without having direct, incisive wisdom, relation to this, we hold as I. This is me. This I am. So that's, as you know, sometimes we say Buddhists don't believe self, or some say they believe self, So this is Atma. Or there's no Atma. Yes, there's Atma. So there's a lot of discussions about that. Anyhow, connection to this skandha, we hold in the mind, I. Something very substantial, concrete. Even Buddhists say we don't believe self, but we have such a strong self, Nobody can beat it, you see. It's so powerful, So as long as when you hold on, grasping to this self, then it surrounds all the mental afflictions. See, I like, I don't like, see, I feel bad about it, I feel good about it. All this, we have that, you see. Make sense? See, no matter how much you debate, say there's no self, but still you are holding yourself so strongly, If somebody refutes you, you don't like it. You say, I don't like to lose the debate. Where you are analyzing, there's no debate. Where you are analyzing, there's no self. But self becomes so powerful there. I win the debate. I feel so bad because I lost the debate. You see, the eyes is not there, I mean, what it means, something like exist independently. No? So that is the center of our, say, all the mental confusion is called, that's what's called the ignorance. See, the ignorance, there's no self, but we're grasping the self is something exists within us. When there's ignorance, then there's attachment, there's aversion. So see, without attachment, there's no reason to come the aversion. We like something, I attach to something. If there is some kind of contradicts, if there's some opposing that my attachment, and there comes my aversion. So you see, that's what's called interdependent, interconnected. When you look at these carefully, meditate on this, then you see that what is called mental afflictions. Nyomo. Through that mental afflictions, we create karma. See, later, nyomo. So as long as when we hold this five skandha as an I, something like not just a notion, but like in our mind as we have, this is me, you know. Then there's mental afflictions and karma. We create karma constantly. So that mental afflictions and the karma, and that cycles day after day, every month, every year, life after life, what that's called is, that's what's called samsara. No? So that's something we cannot get rid of by saying prayers. May I reborn in the Pure Land. No. Even you're born in the Pure Land, you're born with these mental afflictions. So these mental afflictions has to purify by this critical insight. See, to have that critical insight, then, you know, we have to see first samsara. It's not something desirable place to see, desirable place to live. We have to see this, is the nature of the all phenomena is impermanent. Everybody in the samsara, regardless, believer, non-believer, educated, uneducated, rich or poor, everyone is under the control of suffering. We have suffering of birth, aging, sickness, and death is universal. We don't get what we want. We get what we don't want. See that. If you are living in a very comfortable place, still where something is missing. We need to do something more. So that we have to have that kind of critical insight. Then with that critical insight, then we need the Buddha's teaching, how to see that, how to comprehend. No? So impermanence is the nature of all composite phenomena. Composite means all things that is composed based on causes and conditions. Nothing stands independently. So when you see that everything is changing, the changing is not just year after year, but moment after moment, every second is changing. You can see. When you see that, then you say nothing is real because it's changing. Today's beautiful flower is not exist in the afternoon. No? So like that, look at this, everything's changing. Instead, we are expecting all the peace and happiness or joy comes from the flower. You see, flower is not reliable. It's changing. So like that, all phenomena, look at this and bring their mind more to insight. See, we're not attached so much to the 5 objects, the form, sound, smell, taste, tactile, and this. So when there's less attachment, there's less aversion. There's less attachment, give rise through the wisdom. The wisdom help you to have that critical insight. So when we go this further, meditate, practice, everything's on the dust particle. Nothing exists independently. When you see nothing exists independently, all are interdependent. That shows everything is illusory nature. It's like a dream. Then you see, oh, I have to understand this. I have to realize this. I have to purify my mind more and more. Then you can see all natures are here as mentioned just before, primordially pure. All are pervading emptiness. See, it's uncompounded. You can realize there. It's the beyond all extremes of elaboration. You can see this. That seeing is called nirvana. See, because then there's no suffering. See, so that's nirvana. So the nature of samsara itself, when we realize, is nothing different from that nirvana. But it makes samsara out of our delusion, mental afflictions. See, so the phenomena of samsara and nirvana, I hope you understood a little bit. See, it requires your more understanding, but most important is practice. You have read many Mahamudra texts, received a lot of Mahamudra teachings, like floating in the air. No? Oh, everything's okay, nothing is a problem, But at the same time, all these mental afflictions are there. But we need such a precise, it's called precision line to see these things. It's not enough just say, everything is just emptiness, just flaws, There's no virtue, there's no non-virtues, no. Everything plays, you see, because it's based on the cause. The causality is not a Buddhist philosophy. It's the philosophy of the universe. It's, like say, poison is poison for anybody, for everybody. If anybody take that poison, will cause death. Medicine is a medicine for everybody. It's not a belief. You may say, I don't believe any poison. But if you take it, it will cause you death, you know. So we need this called universal critical wisdom to see this penetrate directly. So we all should have this. As I mentioned now repeatedly, if you really practice Buddha's teaching, it's not a Buddhism, it's universal. But many great scholars, they say, this is a Buddhist belief. Rebirth is a Buddhist system. Karma is a Buddhist belief, you know. So that makes your mind very limited. You know? We should expand our mind because it's a bodhicitta. As we said the prayer, may all mother sentient beings have happiness and causes of happiness. If it is just Buddhist belief, how you can say, may all sentient beings? No, it doesn't fit there. No. But if you know this way, then there's a reason. Say, may all sentient beings have this kind of critical wisdom to know these all things well and free from the suffering and have all the causes to realize the cause of suffering and then eliminate all the cause of suffering. So that makes, see, how it makes, you know, say, all the whole universe, see. They're primordially peaceful and birthless. You see, peaceful here. This is not just peace, whole peace, not just that, no. This here peace is the total absence of the mental afflictions. When all these mental afflictions are totally cease to exist through this meditation practice, through this critical insight, then there comes it's called a peace. That peace it is called unafflicted peace. Means unafflicted means that peace is absence of all the mental delusions. And that is birthless. It doesn't mean not born or grow tree. You can grow tree. The mother can give birth to a child. But if you investigate carefully, there's no birth. If you go through the quantum physics theory, dust particles, there's no mother, there's no child to born. That's what's called birthless or unborn. That's the reality nature. But in our dualistic mind, since we have the duality based on the ignorance, so you cannot say it's birthless or it's unborn. No, we cannot say it's equanimity. No, we cannot say it's uncompounded. In our dualistic mind, we see this all compounded, composite. No? We see there, this our allies, this our enemies, you know. This is my friend, this is not my friend. We all have that kind of, that's called relative state, conventional state. In the samsara, we have all these things, you know. That brings the suffering to us. When you see your friend, you feel so happy. You attach to your friend. When you see your enemy and the aversion, anger manifests, and there comes the suffering. So we have all this in the relative state, in the samsara. But when we realize that enemy is just conditional, friend is just conditional, it's all in relative state. And then you see that through the critical insight, and then you see, oh, that's what is. So great practitioners, highly accomplished in their practice. So their mind is untouched by this dualistic nature. These great practitioners, highly accomplished, they see everybody as enlightened nature. So they respect everyone. Those great teachers who understand the Buddha nature is pervaded to all sentient beings, they even prostrate to the dogs, the enemies. So that's what I mean, no? So between samsara and nirvana, see, so are primordially peaceful and birthless. Naturally, they are the state of nirvana, you see. Then, in reality, nature itself is nirvana. Okay. So I hope I'm communicating, something that you can understand. So this is what Buddha's teaching is about, okay? You are not converting into Buddhist. You are converting from delusion to the enlightened state, okay? Oh. You are going back to your home where you belong to. We went so far from our original home, wandering everywhere, and then no end of suffering and cause of suffering. So this teaching, what Lord Jigdo Sungkun is now giving teaching to us. Now here he's saying here, Tibetan said, Ashin Yangen Dabala, Nadun Zebe, Moshampu, Chadanye, Tsun Tone, Kamsun Kurves, Tongirto, Rawameba, Gaba Tek. Very beautiful metaphor here. And yet, any grasping to this as self, you see. Here yet, you see, even though we are nature of the nirvana, no self is pervading, nothing but non-duality. No? But the self makes the, you see, boundary. No? Our nature is free from all the boundaries, but the self makes the boundary. So, and yet grasping to this as self is but the son of a barren woman. Barren woman has a son. So she's saying, our grasping self is like a barren woman's son, okay? The barren woman has no son, does not exist. No? So, likewise, the self is not exist, but grasping. Then is said, who brandishes the weapons of attachment, aversion, and helplessly slits his own throat. It's a beautiful metaphor, so direct. This is the wisdom of Jigten Sungkun. He saw the natural reality directly, not just intellectually, no, not just theoretically, but practically. The self, something that not exists while holding, is like the son of the barren woman. And that barren woman's son holding the weapons, see, that weapon is like, the weapon is attachment and aversion, see. So that weapon, it slits our own throat. So the attachment, aversion, helplessly we suffer between that. Make sense? Look at this, just see. When we attach to somebody, something, I say, I like this. I want to get it. If I don't get it, then I will not like it. And we try all the best to achieve what I like. And there we encounter a lot of obstacles, a lot of obstacles coming around, and we have a lot of aversion there. So I don't like this obstacle because this person is making obstacle to achieve me this, that. See, so that it's cutting our throat of peace and happiness. So helplessly slits this, his own throat. So that where that take place? In the city of samsara's 3 realms, you see. All the sentient beings in the samsara, which is 3 realms. Kama dhatu, rupa dhatu, arupa dhatu. The desire world, the form world, the formless world. Everybody in this 3 world, sentient beings are suffering under this 3. Ignorance, first self is this grasping to the self is ignorance. And that ignorance brings the attachment and aversion. As earlier mentioned, then we all are suffering. See. So to purify this, only Buddha's teaching gives us opportunity. In the world, everything is manufactured. Is to become rich or to enrich our ignorance, attachment, and aversion. See. So Buddha's teaching is indispensable. And the samsara gives us opportunity how to fulfill your desire, how to fulfill your aversion. So there's no end of suffering. See? So Buddha's teaching is just to look at the root cause of suffering, and then gives us opportunity how to reduce these causes of the suffering. Now you should see this self, ignorance, attachment, aversion. It's not just only this life. Through many lifetimes, we are so habituated on this. We feel very natural. No? We say it's part of the life. This is how we can exist, we say. No? But there's no medicine which can give us chance, opportunity to reduce this. There's no anything outside gives us opportunity to reduce these things, except to develop this, make greater. And then in our society, look at it, it's just in the samsara, look at the society, all the problems we face is because of this. No? Not just in the Dharma wall. No? Even our Dharma centers, even though we are studying, practicing Buddha's teaching, these problems are there because we are not purified. It makes us very limited because we have these mental afflictions. That's why it encourages us first to study and practice. Practice means to reduce them. When you practice doesn't mean to see some gods or taras or changes or colors or hearing sound. Mainly practice means mentally purify these delusions. So that for this, the Buddha's teaching is indispensable. And so we need such a good teacher who can give us direct instruction. Not something flowery, Everything say, oh, everything is okay. This what you're doing is okay. No. If we are sincere practitioner, we need that kind of direct instruction. If you are not sincere practitioner, then it's okay. Yes, then you can do anything. You say, oh, in the emptiness, there's no virtue, no non-virtue. You can do this, okay, you okay, But the problem is never solved, you see. It's very obvious, clear, Okay. It makes sense? What time you are doing now?
We can take a break, Rinpoche.
Okay.
Like 15 minutes break.
Okay. Om Banza Sato Samaya Manu Bhavaya Kayo Membawa Subo Kayo Anorado Membawa Sarva Siddhi Me Parayasa Sarva Karma Sudame Chetana Shriya Guru Hum Ha 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 Hum Bhaga Sarva Dadanga Dambandrama Memonzam Bardimbawa Ma Samaya Sato. Okay, thank you so much.
So for everyone else, if you need some help with the Zoom, there is a tip that Amanda and Peter just shared with me, then I will share with all of you. If you are not hearing if your speaker is not so loud, there are a few places you could fix this or improve this. One place to improve is if you I can only refer to this, I can only guide you through if you're actually on a laptop or on a desktop, because I don't know how it appears on a tablet or on the phone. But if you go to if you're on a laptop, if you go to the left corner, bottom corner of your Zoom screen, you will see a microphone there, right? With a green thing kind of going up and down. But next to it, there's a little arrow pointing up, a little arrow pointing up right next to it. So if you click the little arrow, you will see it will open up a whole choices there. And if you go click on audio settings, if you click on audio settings, once you click on audio settings, what comes up is you will see, make sure that on the left column is on audio, and then you can see there's speaker, yeah, right at the top, speaker, and there the output volume. So you can adjust the output volume to something higher. Then it might improve your speaker, what you can hear. So that is one place that you can adjust. There are other places you can adjust, which is your computer's speaker output capacity as well. So the output volume on the Zoom settings, on your Zoom settings can be improved. So in case any one of you is finding, and generally you want external speakers to participate in a lot of these Zoom and these online things, having either external speakers or headphones are also very helpful. So anyway, we'll have a break, and in about 10 minutes, Rinpoche is going to start again.